almost 3 decades. It started as the Thanksgiving night tradition. It then became a Thanksgiving Eve tradition. And for the last 20 years, since 1995, it has been the Thanksgiving week tradition. The second longest running pay-per-view in the history of World Wrestling Entertainment behind WrestleMania. This is the Survivor Series. Hello, friends. It's Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here with you for this very special edition of the Wrestling Forum, as it is our Survivor Series preview edition of the Wrestling Forum. A very interesting Survivor Series, to say the very least. I mean, so much going on. We were initially supposed to have a Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Not happening. For those of you who may not know, Seth Rollins injured his knee toward the ACL and MCL in the match with Kane in Dublin, Ireland. And all there is to say is the complexion of World Wrestling Entertainment changed drastically forever. And as a result, we are now going that we've had a 16-man tournament. It started with 16. It went to 8, and now we are down to the final 4. My favorite event of the year, and I cannot wait because this is going to be definitely one for the ages, to say the very least. So I am joined by my partner in crime, as always, the Phenom, Michael Bullock. There will be no Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher, no Hardcore Python Derek Ferreira, and you know what that means. When it's just us, Yes Movement runs.
Yes Movement takes over.
Yes Movement's running the show tonight, folks. We do apologize for the very lengthy delay. Michael Bullock ended up having plans at the last moment. We had initially agreed to do this back at 10 o'clock, but something came up on his end, which is no worries. So, and we also had a minor glitch on our end, but nonetheless, we are finally here. We're finally here and now, and yes, this is it. It's Survivor Series time. The tradition of the Survivor Series. Next year will mark the 30th anniversary, but first we got to get through the 29th installment, which will be live tomorrow night from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. And all roads lead to a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion before the night is over. So, with all that said, we're going to dive right in. As of now, there has been nothing announced as far as a pre-show match is concerned. So, read into that what you will. We have 7 matches on the card, but we're really going to only get into like 6 because we don't have information on one of those matches, which it was reported that there will be a traditional Survivor Series elimination matchup. We just don't have any update on who the participants are going to be. So Bullock and I decided that we are not going to preview that match only because we have no participants announced. So there are 6 other matches. The 3 semifinal matches in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Well, the 3 remaining matches, I should say. A tag team match that Mr. Bullock will have a major vested interest in. A very personal Divas Championship match, maybe the most emotionally charged Divas Championship match in ages, and of course, just the straight up grudge match 1-on-1. So here we go. We're gonna start it off with our first match. It's going to be Dolph Ziggler 1-on-1 with Tyler Breeze, and of course, we all know the story about this. It's going to be a very interesting matchup here. We all know the story about this. All really stems from, just absolutely the whole thing was a major turn of events. I mean, we all know what happened. I mean, we had the angle with Dolph Ziggler, Rusev, Lana, Summer Rae, and I mean, all I can say, that's all I can really say. I mean, Rusev and Lana revealed their real life engagement. WWE got word of it. Vinny Mac and the Suits obviously lost their minds. You would have to imagine, and of course, it led to a blow up angle where Rusev and Summer Rae were supposed to have a wedding angle, but that went down the tubes, and that's all. And Summer Rae tried to get together with Dolph Ziggler. She wanted to try a relationship with Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler said no, and Summer was very heated about that. So what does she do? She goes to NXT, and she calls up the Prince of Pretty and the Sultan of the Selfies, Tyler Breeze. And that's where we are now. So one-on-one matchup here. We all know Dolph Ziggler's credentials. He's done it all, damn near done it all. Former World Heavyweight Champion, Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, United States Heavyweight Champion, a Tag Team Champion as part of the Spirit Squad, and a Money in the Bank winner. Tyler Breeze just getting his feet wet, obviously. I mean, just absolutely. I mean, you may not like the gimmick, but this young man can wrestle. He really can. He is a solid wrestler. Just ask Jushin Thunder Liger from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. That 2.5 to 3 star match there. Ask Ambrose, his first match on Monday Night Raw, his first main roster match. Took Ambrose to the limits. And then from there, an easy win over R-Truth. Well, not quite easy. I mean, R-Truth did give him a little bit of some fits, but nonetheless, here we are. Tough one to call here. My initial thought was going to be Dolph Ziggler to win, but I don't know why, but there is a slight chance Tyler Breeze can go over here. I mean, there really is. I mean, you never know. Summer Rae could actually get involved here. But like I said, I mean, would I be surprised if Ziggler won? No, I wouldn't. But with Tyler Breeze, they obviously want to give him a signature win. And then, in order for us to take him seriously. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm actually going to go with Tyler Breeze to win. And I think Summer Rae might be the difference maker. Should be a solid match. I think we're going to get a 2.5 to 3 star fight easy based on their bodies of work. So that's it. So I'm going for the upset special. Give me Tyler Breeze to win. Wouldn't be surprised if Ziggler wins, however. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, Phenom, your thoughts on Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze?
Yes, first off, hello friends. This is the Phenom Mike Bullock here for another edition. Well, for our Survivor Series preview edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always. Yeah, I mean, like you said, this whole thing started, of course, with when Ziggler and Rusev had that feud, and then of course the real life engagement with Lana and Rusev, and Summer Rae found out, and that's when she dumped Rusev, and Summer Rae was basically trying to get Ziggler back, and Ziggler said, I'm not going for that. And then that's when Summer Rae called up Tyler Breeze, and they've basically been going at it. I mean, yeah, say what you want about Tyler Breeze. I mean, the gimmick, I'm not a real big fan of, but his wrestling is damn good. I mean, Jushin Thunder Liger, I mean, he really took him to the limit. I mean, even Dean Ambrose in his first official match. So yeah, I mean, this can definitely be a solid match, 2.5 to 3 stars, and actually, I'm actually going to agree with you, Florio. I'm going to go with Tyler Breeze to win this one because remember, Dolph Ziggler he basically got in Tyler Breeze's head this past Thursday on SmackDown when Tyler Breeze was in a match against Zack Ryder, and Dolph Ziggler basically distracted him by going to that VIP section that was set up and tried all his drinks and stuff. So I think because of what Dolph Ziggler did, I'm actually going to go with Tyler Breeze here, and he needs that first major win on a WWE pay-per-view. So give me Tyler Breeze to go over on Dolph Ziggler, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ziggler does get the win here. So, but I'm going with Tyler Breeze. So with that being said, Gloria, let's move on to the next match as part of the 2015 Survivor Series.
Yeah. You would think we would showcase all the tournament matches together, but we're not going to do that. I'm going by the order of Derek Ferrera's blog. I'm sure he'll be all right with that. Next, we're going to talk about the first semifinal match of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. The Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Kevin Owens one-on-one with the Lunatic Fringe Dean Ambrose. So all I can say is Michael Bullock, Ambrose, and Owens. Who's going to the finals, man?
Well, all I can say is Florio, this is to me this is going to be the fight of the night right here, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, based on the body of work of Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens, and initially these two were supposed to face off for the Intercontinental Championship at Survivor Series, but because of the Seth Rollins injury, that pretty much changes all that, and we are actually getting this match at all, but it's now part of the semifinals of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship tournament. I mean, Kevin Owens. With what he's done so far, I mean, getting the win, of course, over Neville, and also getting a win over first getting the win over Titus O'Neil in the first round, and then of course Neville in the quarterfinals. Of course, Dean Ambrose basically beating Tyler Breeze in the opening round, and then of course I'm trying to remember who. Oh, he beat Dolph Ziggler in the quarterfinals to get to the semifinals. So now the big question is, who do I think is going to win this? As much as I want to see Kevin Owens win this and move on to the finals, I got to go with Dean Ambrose here. I mean, obviously, Kevin Owens holding the Intercontinental Championship, I think, makes it clear that I don't think he's gonna go over to the finals, and so basically, give me Dean Ambrose to win this one, and he'll move on to the finals of the tournament. So, Florio, I give it to you.
Yeah. All I can say is this is going to be an amazing matchup here. I mean, wow. All I can say is this is going to be an amazing match. I mean, very tough to call here. I mean, I can honestly say that. I mean, I know the odds are saying Dean Ambrose is has been in the dirt sheets as not only going to the finals but also winning the thing. And we're gonna have a lot on that in just a minute. But I mean, should be an incredible match. Yeah, so just thinking about this, you never know. I mean, we've seen many times in the past where we think one thing is going to happen, and then they pull the rug out from underneath us. We've seen it all. So all right. So forgive me. I'm just having a little Facebook chat with my godmother. So I do apologize for that. But that's the only reason why I seem a little distracted right now. But yes, this is going to be one hell of a match, because we all know the body of work of these two guys, and that's going to be it's going to be one hell of a match. I mean, the body of work is just incredible. We know Kevin Owens' body of work when he was the Antichrist of professional wrestling in Ring of Honor, Kevin Steen. And, it's going to be one heck of a show. I mean, one heck of a match, I should say. Like I said, I do apologize for the slight distracting here. I'm just having a little Facebook chat, like I said. But, yeah, it's just Owens and Ambrose are going to be I mean, I know Ambrose is the favorite, but there's always a chance. You never know. They could put Owens over. I mean, it would be something. But here's the thing. Kevin Owens is the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. And if they put him in the finals and they put him over the whole thing, it would be one of the fastest rises that I can remember since Brock Lesnar. I mean, we all remember what happened with Brock Lesnar, don't we? I mean, in 2002. In 2002, we all remember Brock Lesnar comes in and in just a short period of time, and only 4 months in, he wins the belt when he beats The Rock at SummerSlam in 2002. Yeah, so that would be what it would be like if Lesnar wins this. I mean, if Kevin Owens goes over. So it's gonna be one hell of a match. I mean, will it be a 5-star classic? Maybe, but I really don't think so. So I'm thinking 4 to 4 1/4, maybe 4 1/2. Yeah. So just thinking about this. I mean, I'm gonna go with Dean Ambrose to win it. But would I be surprised if Kevin Owens wins? No, absolutely, positively not. Because they want us to believe one thing and then they go and do another. So we'll see. These tournaments usually don't go as you think they do. We all remember at WrestleMania 4, everybody and their mother was saying, "Oh, Hulk Hogan's going to win this tournament." He didn't. Macho Man Randy Savage did. Fast forward 14 years to the 98 Survivor Series, the Deadly Game. What was everybody thinking? Oh, Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to win the tournament. Wrong. It was The Rock. So they could pull the rug out from under us again. Really could. So we'll see. But for right now, Bullock, I'm going to agree with you once again. The Lunatic Fringe is going to go over. I'm expecting this to get at least 20, maybe 25 minutes. But then again, you never know. There could be time limits. They might have time limits. I mean, I think the first round matches had 10-minute time limits, I think. And then I don't know if they had a time limit for the quarters. I would think the semifinals will get a significant time limit. I would think maybe a 30-minute time limit at the absolute most. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah. So yeah. I mean, potential to be a 5-star classic. The body of work of both men are great. I mean, this was a long rumored match for this event anyway. This was going to possibly be an Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match, but it won't be. This is for the right to go to the finals. So I'm going with Ambrose to win. But all I can say is the Shakespearean drama is going to be high. This is going to be, like I said, one of the best matches. And this will definitely, I could see this ranking right up there as one of the best matches in the history of the Survivor Series. So yeah. So that's all there is to it. So Dean Ambrose wins. But like I said, if Owens goes over, God forbid, I wouldn't be surprised. Here we go. Next up, this is the match. We're going to take a little break from the tournament. We're going to get back to it in a moment. Next up, this is a match that Michael Bullock and I, well, both of us are going to have a vested interest in. The most emotionally charged Divas Championship match in recent memory. Charlotte defends the title against Paige. Oh boy. Paige earned the right by winning a number one contenders, a fatal 4-way contenders match on a Monday Night Raw. I believe Brie Bella, Becky Lynch, and I forgot who the other one was. Wasn't it Naomi who was in that? I think it was. Yeah. So but nonetheless, Paige won that match, and it was no, it was Sasha Banks. I apologize. It was Paige over Brie Bella, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte and Sasha Banks for the right to face Charlotte at Survivor Series. So indeed. So yeah. This whole thing really took a turn on Monday Night Raw this past Monday night when Charlotte and Paige did the unthinkable. For only the third time in the history of Monday Night Raw, the Divas main evented Monday Night Raw, but not in a match, with a contract signing. Unbelievable. We didn't see this coming. So, and a lot of the dirt sheets that came out were really upset. There was a lot of fallout from the angle on Monday night because of the fact that they brought up Reed Flair. For those of you who don't know, Reed Flair, the younger brother of Charlotte Flair, tragically passed away a couple of years ago at a very young age because of drug problems and all that. We all know that. A lot of backlash. The mother, one of Ric Flair's many ex-wives, Beth Flair, was very, very heated. But then again, so was Ric Flair. Ric Flair went on his Woo Nation podcast, and he even expressed his displeasure with it. A lot was made about it. And wow. So yeah, Charlotte. I mean, you heard me say this on the forum Monday night. I always said that I really prefer that they leave the personal stuff behind, leave the personal stuff, check that at the door. But I was actually okay with the angle. We were actually okay with it. But then once the backlash came out, then, well, we kind of retraced our steps a little bit. We kind of backed it up a little bit. I know Michael Bullock's going to have a lot to say about this when we get to him, because I know he was we had a lot of talks this week. I mean, we see each other a lot more nowadays than we did before. But and during one of those chats, one of our afternoon get-togethers, we got into this, and while we loved the angle was just absolutely incredible, and they were worthy of that main event spot. Our dirt sheet I recently read said that, the reason why they went with the personal route was because, they wanted to do something big because the Divas were main event. Obviously. A lot of people were not, like I said, Ric Flair was upset about it. Ric Flair's ex-wife and Charlotte's mother, Beth Flair, like I said, was very upset about it. I think she was a little more upset than Ric Flair was. But it's all because that Charlotte's new to the main roster. She's only been around for a few months. We all know that. And she was put in a tough spot. She was put in a very tough spot. What else is there to say? She's in that position where she really doesn't have any stroke, and she just has to, go with the flow. That's all there is to it. And you can't help but feel bad. We wish there was something we could do about that. But yeah, Charlotte cannot, Charlotte has to just, say yes, sir, to everything. She was put in a position where she can't say no. Because if she says no to the angle, if she says I'm not going to do it, well, her ass was going to get buried. You all know that. If you're new and if you're learning the ropes and whatnot, Bullock, I'll say it like this to Michael Bullock: if you and I were up and coming superstars like Charlotte is, and we were only on the job for a few months, and they made us do an angle, and they asked us to do an angle that was outside of our comfort zone, we want to say no, but the thing is, we have no choice but to go with it. And that's exactly why Charlotte had to go with that end. That's what Ric Flair said on his podcast, his Woo Nation podcast. So just think about that. Charlotte says no. Well, here's the thing: they would have brought out the golden shovel. Believe that, or else would have gotten buried 6 feet under. So she had to go with it, and that's why Ric Flair said what he said. And Beth Flair, obviously her mother, very upset about the angle as well. We could go all night about this, but we're not going to do that. So all I can say is this is the most, like I said, it's the most emotionally charged Divas Championship match that we've had in recent memory. Probably since the days of Trish Stratus and Lita, when it was the Women's Championship. That's the last time I can remember a Women's Divas Championship match this emotionally charged. Probably the last one I can remember was when Trish Stratus wrestled Lita in her last match in her hometown of Toronto, Unforgiven of 2006. A match that I rated 5 stars because of the emotion, Shakespearean drama, the commentary, the crowd. Just that's why. And now you know. Will it be the 5-star classic that Trish and Lita was 9 years ago? I really don't know. I'm going to say no, but I do think this could be a sleeper fight of the night and a possible show steal. I don't know if it's going to have the same excitement and Shakespearean drama that Bayley and Sasha Banks had in their 2 matches at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and NXT TakeOver Respect. Both 5-star classics, both Shakespearean drama laden. The straight-up one-on-one match, and then, of course, the 30-minute Iron Woman match that blew the doors off all of us. Blew us away so much that we're not even here. That's all there is to it. This could be a contender for Diva Fight of the Year in the WWE. Really. I think Michael Fletcher said it best. That 4-way match, that number 1 contenders 4-way, that Paige won to earn the right for this match. I believe that's what Fletcher said. I believe Fletcher said that this was that was his choice for Diva Fight of the Year in the WWE because of the body of work. I think this one could overtake it. If given enough time, if booked correctly, and they give them time to tell the story and everything else, this could go down as probably the greatest Divas title match of all time since the inception of the Divas Championship back at the Great American Bash in 2008 when Michelle McCool fought Natalya. That's when the Divas Championship came into existence. So with all that said, who wins? I have to go with Charlotte. She's only held it for 2 months. Paige has already had a couple runs with it. There's no doubt she's going to get another run with it. I have no doubt Paige will be a Divas champion again. But I think right now it's just too soon to take the belt off of Charlotte. Although it would give Paige major heat if she were to go over. But at the end of the day, you have to go with the champion right now. You got to go with Charlotte to win. Charlotte wins. She successfully defends the Divas Championship in what I think will be not only the most emotionally charged and personal Divas title match of all time, but also could go down as the best ever Divas title match since the inception of that belt. Like I said, at the Great American Bash in 08 when Michelle McCool beat Natalya. So Charlotte wins, figure 8. What a match this is going to be. So with all that said, Michael Bullock, I know you're chomping at the bits. I know you've been, ready to have your say in all of this. So you've been very vocal about this, during our afternoons together. So I ask you. I already know who you have, but elaborate. Give us your thoughts on what should be the most emotionally charged Divas title match of all time.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the most emotionally charged Divas Championship match that I could ever remember. And yeah, like you said, it started, of course, when Paige, of course, turned on PCB and basically attacked Becky Lynch and Charlotte and locked in the PTO on Charlotte. And then, of course, there was that fatal four-way to determine a new number one contender for the Divas title, and Paige ended up winning that. And Paige has really gotten a lot of heat since her heel turn, and all I could say is she's taken it a whole new level. And you and I talked about this, Florio, during our drives. I think she's gotten more heat since Vicky Guerrero was around in WWE, whether it was as manager or as, of course, the general manager of either Raw or SmackDown, but where she basically got booed lustily because of that whole "excuse me" thing she came up with. But she's not right up there yet. I mean, Paige is not there yet, but I'm gonna make something perfectly clear. And Florio, I know we talked about this, but I mean, when it comes to, I mean, if you want to make Paige look like a real big time heel, I mean, they could have done so many other things the right way. And you know how I feel when it comes to getting family members involved, especially ones that have passed away, especially Reed Flair. When I heard that, when I saw that segment, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I've always told WWE, you need to leave the family stuff out of it. But no, they had to go this route. And like you said, Florio, if Charlotte didn't go through with it, she was probably going to get buried. But to me, WWE could have gone any other way, but they had to go down this route. And to me, I hate to say it, it's pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, inexcusable, irresponsible, and borderline reprehensible. And I mean, the only question is, of course, who do you blame most on the whole thing? WWE for coming up with this idiotic idea? Or do you blame it on Paige for going through with this when she basically could have said no? That's the $1 million question. And the only two people who would have the answer is, of course, WWE and Paige. And they're not talking, and I don't expect them to. But either way, this is going to be the sleeper fight of the night, and it could one that could possibly steal the show at Survivor Series. Now, as far as who I want to win, I have to go with Charlotte. I mean, like you just said, Florio, Paige has already had some runs with the Divas Championship, and plus, I think it would be too soon to take the title off of Charlotte. I mean, there'll come a time where she will lose it, but now's not the time. So I really got nothing more to say except give me Charlotte to win. So I know I already asked you this, Florio, but I'm going to ask you this again. Who do you blame this whole mess on more? WWE for coming up with the idea, or Paige for going through with it when she had the chance to say no?
Well, really don't know. I mean, you can make an argument for both. I mean, WWE was the one who came up with the angle, so you could definitely put some blame on them. Of course, I probably would. You know what? I probably would go with WWE on this one. I mean, because they're the ones who came up with it. I mean, they obviously told Paige and Charlotte, hey, this is what we want you to do. And they probably, and they're probably not in any position to say.
Yeah, but you could also put some of it on Paige when she could have basically said no to the whole thing.
Yeah, but I think they would have probably.
Because remember, here's another thing. I mean, remember one time when CM Punk disrespected Jerry Lawler when Lawler came back from his heart attack?
I remember.
Yeah, and I don't know how. I mean, I think you would have to blame WWE on that one, right?
What
With the
what
CM Punk, with CM Punk.
oh, yes, yes. I mean, I remember we took that thing very seriously. Yes, I mean, obviously. So,
But either way, I mean, I don't like WWE bringing up. I mean, having family members involved in angles like this.
definitely,
I mean,
definitely, I agree with you
especially
on
since
that.
you and I are both Ric Flair fans, because
Yes,
we all loved him, and
of
it
course.
just really hit me hard when I heard when it came out of her mouth like that.
Yeah, a lot of people. You're not the only one. So,
I mean, it felt like someone just took a knife and basically twisted it in my heart. That's what
yeah,
it felt like when Paige said that.
definitely, definitely, and but but we'll tune in tomorrow night and we'll see what happens. Hopefully,
I'll tell you
hopefully,
what, Florio, if there were no rules, I would have had a little something to say to Paige myself, and trust me, it would not be pretty.
I know, I know, you're absolutely right. But let me just let me
And
just
well, I wouldn't say it here because I don't want to get in trouble
of course not. Of course not. You already told me behind the scenes. So let's just move on. I mean, we could go
yeah,
all night about this, but
yeah.
we got
Let's
to move on.
move on with the rest of Survivor Series.
Yes, please. So but like Bullock mentioned, when it comes to the tournament, Kevin Owens is in the semifinals with because of wins over Titus O'Neil and Adrian Neville, whereas Dean Ambrose got there by Vic with wins over Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler. Now we move on to the other semifinal matchup here. Roman Reigns one-on-one with the United States Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio. Roman Reigns got to the semifinals with wins over the Big Show and Cesaro. What a match with Cesaro. Unbelievable. And then Alberto Del Rio, he got to the semifinals by virtue of wins over Stardust and Lucha Dragon Kalisto. So, Michael Bullock, you're up. We already know who's going to go over anyway. It's Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio. Who joins Dean Ambrose in the finals? Gee, I wonder.
Yeah, well, this could be another solid match here. I mean, Alberto Del Rio, I can tell you, he's looked really good since returning to WWE. I mean, and of course, you know all about Roman Reigns, and I think Roman Reigns could definitely carry Alberto Del Rio to a really good match. Um, I mean, Del Rio, of course, has had a run with the World Championship before. I mean, would I like to see it happen again? Absolutely, but to me, I mean, I gotta go with the master of the Superman Punch, Roman Reigns, to win this one, and what I think could be another solid match here. So there's really nothing more for me to say except give me Roman Reigns to win and move on to the finals to face his fellow brother Dean Ambrose. So there's really nothing else for me to say except Florio. I give it to you.
No doubt about it. Roman Reigns goes over. That's all there is to say about it. A match, I think this fight's going to be just as great as the Owens and Ambrose fight. No question here. I mean, because we all know Del Rio's body of work. He's had some great matches. I've been watching back all the classic Survivor Series, to get ready for the Survivor Series like I always do. And Del Rio's had some solid matches in his Survivor Series career. I mean, he's been in 2 traditional Survivor Series elimination matches. 2010, when he captained his own team against a team captained by Rey Mysterio. His team didn't win, but that was a very good match. Of course, 2011, he loses the WWE Championship to CM Punk in Madison Square Garden, and of course, that's when the Punk reign, the epic reign of CM Punk began. You know the story on that. 2012, he's in another traditional Survivor Series elimination match. He's part of Team Dolph Ziggler against Team Mick Foley. and that was a very good Survivor Series match. And then his last Survivor Series, which was 2 years ago, when he challenged John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship in Boston, which I thought was a very good match too. So he's had solid matches in Survivor Series past. Roman Reigns, we know his track record at Survivor Series. He debuts with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose in 2012 during that main event title match with Punk, Ryback, and Cena. 2013, that's when Roman Reigns really arrived in 2013, when he eliminated 4 of the 5 members of the opposing team he faced in that traditional Survivor Series match. That was one of the best damn Survivor Series matches I've ever seen. Not the greatest, but one of the greatest. I will admit it. And then, of course, last year, Roman Reigns was unable to participate in the Survivor Series because of an injury. So here he is. Solid. This is going to be a great match. This is definitely going to be another one of the top fights of the night, for sure. We all know Roman's going to win. That's as easy as apple pie right there, folks. Reigns is going to go over quite easily. Well, I'm not going to say quite easily. Del Rio will give him some fits. I mean, I can see this one getting another. I can see this one going 20-25 again, easily, because of their bodies of work. We're looking at another 4 to 4 1/4 star match here, easily, because I know the body of work of these men, and this fight's not going to disappoint. I expect a lot of close back and forth near falls. I expect Shakespearean drama, a little bit of it, but the outcome is not in doubt whatsoever. Roman Reigns, Superman punch, spear, see ya. Roman Reigns goes to the finals. So that's all there is to say about that. Next. This is the match we're all waiting for. This is the match right here that I know Michael Bullock is going to have a major vested interest in. But before I let him go off on this match, I want to have my say on this one first. The Brothers of Destruction versus 2 members of the Wyatt family. This all started at Hell in a Cell last month. Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. And then after the match, the Wyatt family, all 4 members come out, beat him down, and they carry him out of Staples Center in Los Angeles. The next night on Raw in San Diego, they do the same thing to Kane. So we're thinking, okay, traditional Survivor Series elimination match, easy, 4-on-4 match. The 4 members of the Wyatt family against Taker and Kane and 2 other partners. We were thinking those partners maybe were going to be Finn Balor and Sting, maybe even the Usos. Nope. They went the tag team route. So it's going to be Undertaker and Kane versus 2 members of the Wyatt family. We don't know. They haven't officially announced who those 2 are, but our guess is we think it's going to be Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. This is the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. This pay-per-view has been built around it. Again, outcome is not in doubt. The Brothers of Destruction are going to go over. Simply because this is the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. This is the very event he debuted at. And get this, Bullock, here comes another footnote for you. This event is going to mark 25 years to the actual day that he debuted. It was November 22nd, 1990. The 1990 Survivor Series. Hartford Civic Center, Hartford, Connecticut. As part of the $1 Million team, he debuted. Him, $1 Million Man Teddy DiBiase, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Honky Tonk Man, Rhythm and Blues. Went up against the Dream Team, Dusty Rhodes, the Hart Foundation, Coco Beware. DiBiase was the sole survivor, as Taker was counted out because he was brawling outside the ring with Dusty Rhodes after he eliminated him. Taker's track record at Survivor Series, you know it. The following year, 91, he wins his first WWE Championship, beating Hulk Hogan with a little help from Ric Flair. 1992, he beats the Ugandan giant Kamala in what was known as a coffin match. 1993, he teams with Lex Luger and the Steiner brothers as part of the All Americans against the Foreign Fanatics, Yokozuna, Quebecer Pierre, Crush, and the late Ludwig Borga, God rest his soul. 1994, he's in a casket match again, this time with another late great, Yokozuna, God rest his soul. 1995, he captains a traditional Survivor Series elimination match team known as the Dark Side, with Fatu, Henry Godwin, and Savio Vega against the Royals, another late great, King Mabel, God rest his soul. Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Isaac Yankem, who's now Kane, and Jerry the King Lawler. The entire Dark Side team wins only because Taker pretty much eliminated the whole team by himself, the whole Dark Side, the whole Royals team all by himself. 1996 goes one-on-one with Mankind. Paul Bearer hung above a cage. Taker wins. 97 doesn't compete. I think he was nursing injuries, so we didn't see him in Montreal. 98, he was in the Deadly Game tournament. He beats Kane in the first match of the second round, but was eliminated in the semifinals against The Rock via disqualification because of outside interference from Kane. 1999, he was not at that Survivor Series in Detroit either. Year 2000, he challenges Kurt Angle for the title. He doesn't win the title. 2001 was in the winner-take-all traditional Survivor Series elimination matchup. He was a part of Team WWF with Kane, with The Big Show, with Chris Jericho, and The Rock against The Alliance, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Shane McMahon. One of the two greatest traditional Survivor matches of all time, 5 stars and beyond, Shakespearean drama all around. 2002, did not compete due to injury. 2003, took part in one of the worst ever Survivor Series matches of all time, the infamous Buried Alive match with Vince McMahon. Ugh, was that thing awful. Don't even get me started on how awful that match was. 2004, he beats Heidenreich. John Heidenreich. 2005, he shows up at the end of the event to confront Randy Orton, after Randy Orton leads Team SmackDown to victory over Team Raw. 2006, he loses the first blood match to Mr. Kennedy, now known as Mr. Anderson in TNA. 2007, loses to Dave Batista inside Hell in a Cell for the World Heavyweight Championship because of Edge. 2008, another casket match in Boston, this one against The Big Show. He wins that one. 2009, he meets Big Show again. Only this time, Chris Jericho was also involved. Triple threat match, World Heavyweight Championship. Taker successfully defends. And guess what, my friends? That match against Big Show and Jericho, the last time we would see The Undertaker in the Survivor Series. He was not at 2010 in Miami, was not in 2011 in Madison Square Garden in New York City, not at 2012 in Indianapolis, not in 2013 in Boston, and not in last year's event in St. Louis. First time since 2009, he's going to be involved in a Survivor Series, involved in a match on the card. How can you not put him over? They put the Wyatts over. That would be one of the biggest insults that you can ever have. It would be like literally slapping him in the face and spitting on his legacy. It would make no sense whatsoever for the Wyatts to go over. No sense. On a B-level pay-per-view, on a B show, definitely put the Wyatts over. You could certainly put the Wyatts over. We wouldn't have a problem with it. But at this event, this 25th anniversary, 25 years to the exact date that he debuts, how can you not put The Undertaker and Kane over? Granted, the match is not going to be anything special. I don't see this being a 5-star classic by any means. I think we're going to get probably maybe a solid 3.25 star match at the absolute best. Probably, I think it could be a carbon copy of Taker and Bray Wyatt's one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Solid, good, but not overly exciting. So there's only one way to go. You have to put the Brothers of Destruction over. You have to. It's as simple as that.
And there's another word for you forgot to mention, and that's injustice.
Yes, and it also would be an injustice as well, and it would also be pointless, unnecessary, and all that jazz. But The Undertaker and Kane are going over. That's it. All right, Michael Bullock. This is the match. This is your match. This is the match that you're going to have the most. I know you're going to watch all the matches. I know you're interested in all the matches on this card. I know. But I know out of all of them, this is the one. This is your match right here. This is the match that you are going to have the most vested interest in, even more so than the title, folks, because this is his guy. This is The Undertaker. This is his all-time favorite right here. A man he's gotten to see in person in Providence at our arena, the Dunkin' Donuts Center, on more times than I can count, including Hell in a Cell with Randy Orton in 05. So, Mr. Bullock, your match, man. It's all you.
Yes, this is definitely the match I'm going to have a lot of vested interest in, and since it does involve around my man, The Undertaker, I mean, it's unbelievable. 25 years since he debuted at this very event.
To the exact date.
To the exact date, which is amazing. Which is absolutely amazing. And here he is now 25 years later, back at this event. I mean, at this event again, but this is like the first time in 6 years he will be on the card at Survivor Series. And you talked everything about with what happened, of course, after Hell in a Cell, when The Undertaker was attacked by the Wyatts and got carried out. And then, of course, the next night, they did the same thing to Kane. And as soon as all that happened, I was thinking the same thing, that we were going to get a traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Maybe involving Finn Balor and Sting on the team, but the only problem is I don't think Finn Balor's quite ready to be on the main roster. I still think he needs just a little bit more seasoning over in NXT. And, of course, he is the NXT champion. And then, of course, we don't know the health status of Sting. So I think this WWE had to go down this route. And, of course, when it comes to who's going to be in this match for the Wyatts, I think it's going to be more Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. And, yeah, I mean, it would make no sense to put the Wyatts over in this match. I mean, because it is the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker's debut at this very event. I mean, it would be a travesty. It would be an injustice to have the Wyatts go over. I mean, if it was at a B-level pay-per-view event like TLC or Hell in a Cell or Night of Champions or any of those, I wouldn't mind the Wyatts going over. But at this event, I'm sorry, the Brothers of Destruction have to basically go over. And you forgot to mention one other thing, Florio. If the Wyatts do go over, watch out, because I'm going to go on a major Phenom rant during our recap of the Survivor Series, because I will go out and I'll get my Phenom shovel, because I will bury somebody's ass 6 feet under if they do have the Wyatts go over. And you talk about the history of The Undertaker. I mean, yes. I mean, I have seen him probably more than you have, of course. I saw him a few times at house shows. A couple times, well, one when SmackDown came to Providence back in 2007. Well, actually 2 times, 2007 and 2009. And then, of course, a couple times on pay-per-view, of course, 97 King of the Ring against Farouk for the championship, and then, of course, against Randy Orton in Hell in a Cell. back in 2005, and if this doesn't prove that I'm an Undertaker fan, well, I'm going to turn my camera on. Well, here are some things to show that I am a fan of the Undertaker. So, well, here's one of them.
You need the man cave, folks. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. First one is, of course, the Undertaker. He buries them alive. My next one, Tombstone, the history of the Undertaker. Of course, that's something definitely worth checking out. And the next one was, well, this was around the time of 2007, Undertaker 15-0. The next one, of course, Undertaker's deadliest matches, which has a lot of them, including like some casket matches, Inferno matches, buried alive matches. And the other one, of course, Undertaker 20-0. And of course, now there's another DVD that's currently out. It's the 21-1 The Streak edition of it. And then here's another thing, and how ironic, since we're talking about the Brothers of Destruction.
Sir.
There it is, right? Huh?
Yep, I see it.
Yep, there it is right there. And of course, the last one is the actual magazine about the 25-year history of The Undertaker.
I'm not at all surprised you have that. I knew you would.
But definitely this Christmas, I'm gonna hopefully I can get the that book that's out, the Undertaker 25 Years of Destruction. So
I know you. You'll find a way. You always do.
Well, and I actually have something else too, and I don't think you've seen this, Florio.
Okay. Oh yeah, the Taker symbol. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got it at one of the events I actually went to. So, if that doesn't prove that I'm an Undertaker, if it doesn't prove to you people that I'm an Undertaker fan, then I don't know what the hell will. So, anyways, give me the Brothers of Destruction to win this match over the Wyatts. So, really got nothing else to say except, Florio, let's move on to our next match.
And this is going to be the final match that we're going to get into. This is it. This is the big one. The finals. Our projected finals of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship Tournament. As we call it, we think it will be the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns for the vacant WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Michael Bullock, you get to start this off. Who's walking out of the Phillips Arena in Atlanta? The new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Will it be the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose? Or will it be the master of the Superman Punch, Roman Reigns, to finally get his long overdue moment in the sun?
Well, all I can say is I think this should be a fun match. I mean, between two former members of the Shield, and of course, they're like brothers, and I think this could be another solid match here. And yeah, so now the big question is, who's going to win? I think Roman Reigns is going to be the man that wins and becomes your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And of course, remember back at the 1998 Survivor Series Deadly Games tournament? Remember going into that when Mr. McMahon tried to get The Rock to be the champion, and he said, "You know what? I'd rather be the people's ass than the corporation's ass." And then what happened at the end of the tournament? He became the champion, and he turned and became a member of the corporation and the corporate champion. And of course, we all remember, I think it was 2-3 weeks ago, Triple H gave Roman Reigns a chance to officially become WWE World Heavyweight Champion by just having him join the Authority. And Roman Reigns said, no, I'd rather earn it the right way. Why do I get this strange feeling that what we saw in 98 at the 98 Survivor Series Deadly Games tournament, why do I get the feeling that we're going to get the same outcome? And I'm actually going to go on a limb. I think the same thing will happen. I think this is the night where Roman Reigns will turn heel, and I think he's going to join the Authority. I mean, it's just going to have that same feeling that we saw at the 98 tournament at Survivor Series. So basically give me Roman Reigns to win and become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He turns heel and joins the Authority. Florio, I only got one question for you. How do you follow that?
Wow. My gosh. But normally I ask that to you, but yeah, vice versa. But here we go. This is going to be this should be a great match. I really do. I mean, I think it will be a carbon copy of that Rock and Mankind final from '98, which I thought was a solid 3.5 star match based on the body of work and far and away the fight of the night on that show from '98. But I think this could be a 3.5 to 4 star if given enough time, which I think it will be. I'm pretty sure there's going to be no time limit on this match. It's going to be one fall to a finish, like all tournament finals usually are. Excuse me. But there's no question about this. Bullock's called it. He called the same thing that Derek Ferreira called. He says that Roman Reigns will turn heel and he'll win the title. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. 17 years ago, we saw it. His cousin, The Rock, we saw it. He joined up with Vince and Shane in the corporation, and that's when the corporation was born. The Rock became the corporate champion. Roman Reigns is going to do the exact same thing. He's going to be the Authority's champion. He's going to be what's best for business. He's going to be the new face of the WWE. And it's going to start a title feud between him and Dean Ambrose, which I think will lead to a TLC match in Boston next month. That's just my early thought. But we'll see. But I definitely agree with Bullock, and I also agree with Derek Ferreira and his sports blog. The winner of the tournament and the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the new corporate champion 2.0, best for business, yada, yada. Thanks in large part to Authority shenanigans. I hate to say it, but I think Authority shenanigans are going to rear their ugly head again. Roman Reigns is going to win the belt. He's going to turn. It's as simple as that. I would have loved to have gotten into that traditional Survivor Series elimination match, but we really couldn't do that because we don't have any information on it. So there's really nothing to work off of. So that's all there is to it on that. So Michael Bullock, it's time now for you and I to get into our overall thoughts on this one, and I'm going to start it off because you let off on the last one. I think we're looking at a very good Survivor Series here. We got potential. Now, 2012 and 13 were both average and mediocre shows. 2014 was a step in the right direction. 2014 was a better show, mainly because of that Team Authority, Team Cena traditional Survivor Series elimination match, which was all kinds of awesome. Ranks up there as one of the greatest of all time. 5 stars, Shakespearean drama. The match I basically call Winner Take All 2.0. We've been on a roll with some of these WWE shows as of late. The SmackDowns have been rather meh. The Raws over the last few weeks have been great. And the pay-per-views have been very good too. I honestly cannot remember the last time we had an average and mediocre pay-per-view. It was probably right around the time of either Extreme Rules or Payback. But I got a great feeling this Survivor Series is going to be a great show. All 3 tournament matches I feel are going to deliver. Ambrose and Owens is going to be awesome. Reigns and Del Rio should be great. The final, which we think is going to be Reigns and Ambrose, that's going to be all kinds of awesome. The Divas fight has potential to be something really special if given the proper amount of time to tell their story, especially with that personal element thrown into it. Ziggler and Breeze can be an easy kickoff match right there. That can be an easy. That's going to be an easy match to fun. That's going to be a great match. I really don't see anything wrong with this card. I mean, and I even think that tag match should be a solid match as well with Taker and Kane against the Wyatts. So I think we could be looking at maybe an 8 to 8.5, maybe even a 9 out of 10 if all goes well. I got a feeling this 2015 installment of the Survivor Series will go down as one of the greatest Survivor Series events of all time. And there's also that traditional Survivor Series match as well. So, and if they give that thing enough time, the last few have been really good. I got a great feeling about it. If they put the right guys in it, or if the men are in it, I got a good feeling about it. If it's with the Divas, well, I might be out to lunch on that one. But truth be told, and whatever, however you slice it, the 29th installment of the Survivor Series is going to go down as one of the greatest events of all time. If booked correctly, if all the matches are given proper time, and they let the wrestlers just have fun and tell their stories. They do all that, we'll be fine. Before I give it to you, Bullock, I'm going to make a point that I mentioned to you during one of our afternoon drives. I'm going to say it right here and now. Next year is the 30th anniversary of this event. I know WWE is not watching this. I mean, not many people are watching this anyway. But with next year being the 30th anniversary of the Survivor Series, and I know, Bullock, I know you'll back me up on this because I told you this time and time again. For all of you out there who may be watching, next year, for the 30th anniversary of the Survivor Series, for one night, even if it's only for one night, go back to the old school format. Have every match on the card a traditional Survivor Series elimination matchup. Put the world title on the back burner for one night. Put the Diva belt, the US belt, the Intercontinental belt, the tag belts. All the belts go on back burner for just one night. It's the 30th anniversary of this event next year. I don't care where it is. Book every match as a traditional Survivor Series elimination match because, after all, it's that particular match that got this event to the dance. It's as simple as that. So I've had my piece. I'm glad I got that off my chest. I wanted to get that off my chest. Now you all know. Bullock, your overall thoughts on this event. And I know you agree with me on that 30-year thing, by the way.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the 30-year thing. I want to see every single match be a traditional Survivor Series elimination match, but we'll wait and see how it goes. But let's first, of course, deal with this Survivor Series. And yeah, as far as this one, I do agree. I mean, I think it could be a solid Survivor Series where I think it could be somewhere in between the range of 8, 8.5, maybe teetering on 9. I mean, you look at all the matches. I mean, all of them could be really good. I mean, well, of course, to me, the fight of the night obviously is going to be Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. And of course, it'll be interesting to see what happens when it comes to the finals of the tournament, and of course, the emotionally charged Divas title match, and then of course, the tag team match with the Brothers of Destruction and the Wyatt family, and Tyler Breeze and Dolph Ziggler should be something good as well. And that traditional Survivor Series elimination match, I'm going to be interested to see which superstars will be in it. So either way, this should be a solid pay-per-view. Or WWE pay-per-view / WWE Network special. So I think it's going to be 8, 8.5, maybe 9, but hey, we'll find out come tomorrow night. So that being said, Floria, let's put a bow on this Survivor Series preview edition of the Wrestling Forum.
And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. So that indeed does conclude this Survivor Series 2015 preview edition of the Wrestling Forum. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, tomorrow night, following Survivor Series, right around 11 o'clock or so, Mr. Bullock and myself, along with Michael Fletcher, will be on Michael Fletcher's channel, Braves Fan 95, as we will have a complete recap of the Survivor Series. We'll break down every nook and cranny of every match. Maybe some early thoughts on TLC in Boston next month. We'll see, but it should be an interesting show to say the very least. So until tomorrow night for our Survivor Series recap edition of the Wrestling Forum on Fletcher's channel, BraceFan95. You've been watching the WWE Survivor Series 2015 preview edition of the Wrestling Forum right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, ridiculously over Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, for the Phenom Michael Bullock. So long.